Hey guys, it's Tiffany Fulcher, digital marketer, mompreneur, and your marketing mentor. And today's video is all about the circle of focus. Now, the circle of focus is a systematic way to grow your business through focus. And if you're like me and many other entrepreneurs, you have probably been all over the place with all different types of concepts and ideas, and that's perfectly normal, but I want to talk to you today about how you can shift that thinking into a narrow focus and make more and work less. So, as I mentioned, before really committing to the circle of focus, I was all over the place in my business. I ran from one bright and shiny object to the other and from one project to the other, simply trying to make my business work. I knew that I wanted to grow to 6 and 7 figures, and I knew that was possible. I felt like I had all of the tools to make that happen, but I didn't execute in a fashion that was really plausible for me. And as a result, I was really challenged with being consistent and having consistent months. There was a lot of quitting and stopping and starting over and feeling defeated and failure. And although those things never felt really good to me, and they still don't, I know that they were necessary to help get me to the point where I am today. So I finally decided to get to my goals that I really needed to be intentional. I understood that something else had to happen. And that's when I started studying the power of focus, and the circle of focus concept really came into view for me. Now, this is not a concept that I up with on my own. This is something that I studied and learned. But the most beautiful part of being a human being is sharing the wealth. So here we go. Now, I took action by implementing 3 really simple steps, and I want you to take these concepts and put them into action yourself and watch how powerful they really are. The first step is creating a huge first of the month goal. Now we're already into the month, you can start now, but the whole concept is around 30 days. So you want to make sure that whatever goal you implement, it's around 30 days. Now, when I say huge, I mean you're taking a big step by focusing in on something. Doesn't mean it has to be so big that it's impossible for you to achieve, because that in itself would make the goal and the purpose of focus wouldn't make sense, okay? But you start at the first of the month and you pick out a goal. So let's say you have a revenue goal for the month. You might say, I want to make 20K in 1 month, which is very doable. The second part of that is you create an outline of, or you create a task list. And the task list is every single solitary task that has to happen in order for you to meet that goal. So if the goal is 20K, what are all the tasks that have to happen in order for you to meet a 20K goal? Now, it may be you have to figure out what it is that you're going to sell. You have to figure out if you have to make what it is you're going to sell. Are you going to do the marketing for that? Are you going to do live video? Are you going to write something? You have to create every single solitary task that goes along with making that goal. After you create all those tasks, you then begin to delegate a person to each assigned task, okay? So every individual that's assigned to a task has to either be yourself or you have to outsource. Now, this is where it starts to shift a little bit, because I don't know about you, but in the past, I have always thought that I was the woman for everything, right? And there's this narrative that goes on not only in the entrepreneur community, but particularly amongst women, that we are multitaskers and we can do all things. The beauty in the concept of focus is you are focused in on your area and zone of genius. So you're doing what you do best that generates the most revenue for your company, and you're delegating the other tasks to someone else. Now, if you're saying, I'm not quite there, I'm not at that place, listen, be resourceful. Don't say you can't do that. Find a way. You might find a teenager who could do your social media. I mean, people are doing all kinds of things right now. We are in the middle of a pandemic, so be resourceful, but delegate the tasks that are not your revenue generating pieces. Like if they don't generate revenue because that's not your zone of genius, find someone else to do those tasks. So that's the second part of the zone of the concept of focus. And then beyond finding someone to do those tasks, create a timeline by which those tasks need to be completed. So first you're coming up with your big goal, then you're creating all your bucket lists for your goals. Third, you're putting in delegating those tasks to the right people. Lastly, you're creating a timeline. Okay. Now, the last piece of this, and this is probably the most powerful piece, is you're going to stick with this goal for the next 30 days, no matter what happens. No matter if everybody's buying, if nobody's buying, if people aren't even paying attention, if people are raving about it, you're going to stick with it for 30 days. And at the end of the 30 days, you're going to look at the data and you're going to look at what happened and you're going to say, this went really well, or you're going to say, this was horrible. I'll never do this again, right? But at least you'll know and you will have the understanding of how to commit to something for 30 days. Now, that is the concept of the circle of focus. That's it. Those 3 steps. But I'm telling you, they're so powerful because what happens in that 30 days is you show up consistently. People are drawn to you because people are drawn to consistency. There's like a magnetism that goes with consistency. When you're consistent and people know you're going to show up for them, they show up for you. Not only that, you get in the habit and you get in the practice of trying something for an extended period of time before letting it go and deciding that it doesn't work. How many of you have like gone to the gym for 2 weeks and like worked out and then say, well, working out does not work for me, right? I've done that before, but I know that it takes time. Like it's a process, and anything that's done in 30 days is you're going to be able to see the results and the outcome of that consistency. So here's what I'm saying to you right now. And here's the takeaway that I want you to have from this video. Number 1, I want you to really think about what happens when you give 100% of yourself to something for 30 days. When you take out the nuances, when you take out the excuses, when you take out the distractions, remove everything that's in the way and just zone in on one particular project and your zone of genius for 30 full days. What happens, right? And then I want you to think about, in a realistic format, of course, what is it that you're going to apply to the circle of focus in the next 30 days, and what are the outcomes that you're expecting to see from that? I am double dog daring you to try this concept. And not only am I double dog daring you, but I want you to talk back to me. Email me, message me, find me on Instagram. I would give y'all my number, but not doing that. But let me know. Tell me how it turns out for you because I am so interested. I'm telling you, as a person who's implemented this concept myself, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that it works. I've not only seen it work in my business, but it's worked in my personal life because my business has tripled in revenue. But not only that, I haven't had to work as hard because I'm not spreading myself so thin. And the truth of the matter is, and there's statistical data that states that if you give even 50% of yourself to one thing, it's better than giving 20% of yourself to 5 things. So try this concept. I'm here to tell you that it is powerful beyond words, and it will help you get to your next destination in your business and even grow far beyond that. Okay, so don't forget to hit me up. Let me know. The circle of focus is what it's called. And stay fruitful, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys in our next video.